The emergency sirens screamed through orbital station Kepler 7, their shrill wails sending every species scrambling for lockdown protocols. Amanda wiped her hands on her maintenance jumpsuit and sighed, watching aliens scatter like startled insects down the corridor. She'd been scrubbing the observation deck when the chaos erupted, and honestly, she'd seen worse back on Earth, like that time a grizzly wandered into a Seattle Sparks. All personnel, seek immediate shelter, the station AI announced in 12 different languages. The Valkyrie Deathstalker has breached containment, which is not a drill. Amanda raised an eyebrow. She'd heard about the Deathstalker, some apex predator from a planet where everything was trying to kill everything else. The Galactic Council kept it as a demonstration piece, proof that even the most civilized species had evolved from something nightmarish. Station gossip said it had acid for blood, mandibles that could crush titanium, and a disposition that made angry hornets look friendly. Her comlink buzzed. Fernando's face appeared, his dark eyes wide with concern. Amanda, where are you? Get to a safe room now. I'm on deck 7, near the botanical gardens, she replied calmly, tucking a strand of brown hair behind her ear. What's the situation? What's the situation? The most dangerous creature in 3 sectors is loose. And you're asking? Fernando's rant was interrupted by screaming in the background. Just get somewhere safe. I'll find you after security handles this. Amanda smiled despite herself. Fernando had been stationed on Kepler 7 for 2 years as a diplomatic attaché, and they'd been dating for 6 months. He still didn't quite understand that dangerous was relative when you came from a planet that had produced honey badgers, crocodiles, and Australian wildlife in general. I'll be fine, she assured him. Promise. She ended the call and continued down the corridor, mop and bucket in hand. The station had gone eerily quiet, everyone sealed behind reinforced doors. Amanda rounded a corner and stopped. There it was. The Valkyrie Deathstalker stood in the middle of the hallway, all 8 feet of chitinous horror. It had 6 legs, 4 eyes that glowed an unsettling purple, and mandibles that dripped something caustic onto the floor, leaving smoking pits in the metal. Its exoskeleton was midnight black, covered in natural armor plates that could supposedly withstand plasma fire. It turned those 4 eyes toward Amanda. She studied it for a moment. The creature's stance was low, its breathing rapid. One of its legs favored the left side injury, maybe. Its mandibles clicked erratically, and that acidic drool seemed excessive. The eyes, while glowing, had a certain franticness to them. Amanda had grown up on a ranch in Montana. She knew scared animals when she saw them. Hey there, buddy, she said softly, setting down her mop. You're not scary. You're lost, aren't you? The Deathstalker's mandibles clicked louder, a sound that would send most species running. Amanda crouched down slowly, making herself smaller, less threatening. She reached into her jumpsuit pocket and pulled out her lunch, a turkey sandwich, some carrots, and most importantly, the beef jerky she'd been saving. Look, I know you're supposed to be this big, terrifying monster, she continued in that same calm voice her father had taught her for handling spooked horses, but I bet nobody's bothered to figure out if you're just hangry, have they? She tossed a piece of jerky toward the creature. The Deathstalker's head snapped toward the food. It approached cautiously, predatory instincts warring with curiosity. One experimental bite, and the jerky disappeared. The mandible clicking slowed. All 4 eyes focused on Amanda with new interest. That's right, she cooed. Earth food. We know how to season our meat properly. She tossed another piece, closer this time. The Deathstalker moved forward, and Amanda noticed the injury more clearly, now a deep gash in its rear leg, probably from the panic of escaping. No wonder it was agitated. Someone hurt you, didn't they? Amanda murmured. Probably scared you half to death with all those sirens and weapons. Over the next 20 minutes, Amanda worked her way closer, offering jerky, speaking softly, moving slowly. The Deathstalker, whom she mentally named Chester because every animal deserved a proper name, gradually relaxed. By the time she was close enough to touch, its breathing had normalized, and the excessive drooling had stopped. She examined the leg wound. That needs medical attention, Chester. And I bet you're thirsty too. Amanda pulled the emergency rope from her maintenance kit, thick, durable, designed for zero-gravity rescues. She fashioned a makeshift harness around Chester's thorax, working carefully around the armor plates. The creature allowed it, more interested in the remaining jerky. Good boy, she praised, exactly like she would any frightened animal. Let's get you home. She stood, holding the makeshift leash, and began walking. Chester followed docilely, occasionally clicking his mandibles in what Amanda was starting to recognize as contentment rather than aggression. The walk back to the xenobiology wing was surreal. Amanda, humming an old country song, leading the galaxy's supposedly most dangerous predator like an oversized puppy. Chester even stopped to investigate an interesting scent near a ventilation grate, and Amanda patiently waited. When they reached the containment area, she found chaos. Security teams in full tactical gear, scientists arguing over protocols, and Fernando standing with the Galactic Council representatives, his face pale with worry. The corridor went silent as Amanda rounded the corner with Chester in tow. "Hey everyone," she called cheerfully. "Found your missing death. He's got a nasty cut on his leg that needs treatment, and I think his enclosure temperature might be too low. He was shivering earlier." Fernando's mouth opened and closed like a fish. The head of security, a Craxian with 4 arms and natural body armor, simply stared. One of the scientists, a gelatinous Quarian, quivered in what might have been shock. Amanda led Chester directly to his reinforced enclosure. "Alright, Chester, home time. And someone better get him proper treats. This jerky is clearly his preference." She removed the harness, gave Chester a final piece of jerky, and scratched near his mandibles where the chitin was smoother. The Deathstalker's eyes dimmed to a soft purple, apparently the Valkyrie equivalent of a contented perdot, as Amanda stepped out and the containment field activated. Fernando rushed over, pulling her into a tight embrace. "You're insane," he whispered. "Completely, utterly insane." "Nah," Amanda grinned. "Just human." The Galactic Council representative, a dignified Talarian with crystalline features, approached cautiously. "Human, Amanda? You subdued the Deathstalker with snack foods and rope, and basic empathy," Amanda added. "He was scared and hurt. Animals aren't monsters, they're just misunderstood most of the time." The representative's crystalline structure flickered surprise. "Maybe a... On behalf of the council, I must ask, are all humans like you?" Fernando laughed, still holding Amanda close. "You have no idea. Earth is basically a death world that taught its inhabitants to befriend everything, including the things that should eat them." Amanda shrugged. "We had to get creative. When you evolve alongside wolves, bears, and great white sharks, you either learn to coexist or you don't survive. We chose coexistence." As the scientists began treating Chester's wound and adjusting his environmental controls, word spread throughout Kepler-7. The human janitor who'd walked the Deathstalker home became an instant legend. Several species began reconsidering their assumptions about humanity, not because humans were warriors or conquerors, but because they possessed something perhaps more dangerous: the absolute confidence to treat a nightmare creature like a misbehaving pet. That evening, Amanda returned to her quarters to find Fernando waiting with dinner and a concerned expression. "Please tell me you're not going to make a habit of this." She kissed his cheek. "Can't promise anything, but hey, Chester's doing great. They're giving him jerky 3 times a day now." Fernando groaned, but he was smiling. "Humanity, F***. Yeah," he muttered, shaking his head. Amanda grinned. "On Earth they had a saying, there's no such thing as a mean dog, only scared or mistreated ones." Apparently that applied to Deathstalkers too. Somewhere in the xenobiology wing, Chester clicked his mandibles contentedly, dreaming of turkey jerky and the strange, fearless human who'd shown him kindness. End.